Hi, everyone. This is Tim Nye, Chief Executive Officer of Catholic Charities, San Bernardino Riverside. Very excited to be with you on another podcast, Community in Focus, and just really grateful to have Matthew Kill here. He is the CEO of Hyperbolt. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm really glad you're here, and I'll tell you guys why. So I am the newer CEO of Catholic Charities, as I mentioned, and what we discovered is that we're a great organization and we have a great name out there in the community. And what I was also told, which is actually true, is this feeling that we never answer our phone. And that's a difficult thing. In fact, we were well known as an organization and provide great programs and services, but our phone answer rate was somewhere around 62%, which is quite shocking.
Yeah, that is a surprise for sure. Especially when you're relying on that to be able to get the services out to people that need them. It's imperative that you get that higher for sure. So that's where AI comes in.
It does. And so we have a great staff here at Catholic Charities offering a myriad of different programs and services, 5 core programs specifically. Yet we also found out that we're getting phone calls at 11 p.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, 1 a.m. And those are folks that are in trouble if they're calling that late.
Yeah, for sure. That is an area where you're going to need to have people staffing at that time of night in order to be able to save lives potentially. Where AI can assist with that is the ability to get people in front of the right services at the time that they need it, rather than around the convenience of what's operationally convenient for the business or the charity in this case.
100%. Before we dive into that, let's go back a little bit and learn just about a little more about Matt and also what's driving him with Hyperbolt to help support Catholic Charities San Bernardino Riverside. So Matt, where are you from?
Well, originally from New Zealand, but I lived in Australia for 16 years or thereabouts, so I got a bit of a Aussie accent going on. But I previously in another life I've done IT. And I've also done, I was a jeweler for about 10 years. So I've done a few different things.
I have a feeling we could do a whole podcast on diamond sales.
We definitely could. It's a whole world.
It's a whole world out there. And so then you became a resident of the Inland Empire.
I did. Yeah. Originally what brought me here was, so my mother's side of the family are from the US originally. And my father was from the UK. I just happened to be born in New Zealand. So that's how that happened. But what ended up happening was my mother got sick. She had cancer. And then at that time, we found out and decided to come back to the U.S. to support her. And that's what brought me to the Inland Empire. She lived in Lake Elsinore at the time. And we moved there, and the rest is history, really.
Yeah, so it's a great story. So you've had a lot of different life experiences and a lot of different businesses that you established and you work in. What got you excited about AI in particular?
I can say that AI is the forefront of technology right now. I've always been interested in technology. No matter which businesses I've been involved in the past, technology has always been a part of that. And I could see that AI is pushing boundaries. And it's coming in fast. And I can also see that big businesses jumped on very early, and they have big budgets, and they're spending a lot of money, time, and resources to be at the fore of that. And what I saw was small, medium-sized businesses and not-for-profits are behind on those initiatives.
I don't know the exact stats, but I want to say something of 80%-ish of Fortune 500 companies have already embraced AI.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? Because when I go to conferences and meetings, I tend to see 2 different sort of conversations happening. One is the fear of AI, sort of the Terminator is coming.
Yeah.
And it's going to take all the jobs sort of scenario. And the other one I hear is folks who are embracing AI and sort of moving forward. So to me, it's almost like when the internet came out, would you have ignored it?
No. And I think this is the same thing here. I think you're onto something with that. So, I think both of those two things exist simultaneously. So yes, we should be on the one hand cautious about how AI is developed. And then, obviously anything like with this amount of power should be developed ethically, ideally. And then obviously I think the other side of it is AI should be a tool that's used to enhance what is already there. It's not meant to replace humans, but be able to make us more efficient at what we do, free us up time wise to focus on higher level tasks and be able to provide ultimately better services. And I think that if it's used in that vein, it can be a powerful tool.
I believe our late Pope, the Catholic Church, literally said the similar words in that AI should be a tool, but it will not replace the compassion of humanity.
Totally agree with that. I think there is obviously something fundamentally special about human connection. What AI is there to do is to allow more of that in more meaningful ways and free us up for the jobs that are repetitive and potentially data driven to be taken by the machine so that we can do the more hands on human stuff.
For my folks, for all the folks watching now, what comes up for me is soft skills. It's time to focus on your soft skills, and I'll just give a little shout out. I love Vanessa Van Edwards. She wrote the book Cues and Captivate, and also runs the scienceofpeople.com. And so, anyone who wants to work on their soft skills, there's all sorts of great stuff on YouTube that's out there. But also, Vanessa Van Edwards, look her up. She's fantastic as far as your soft skills are concerned. And I think that's one of the big changes, right? With AI, we can now do software development and all kinds of features that are out there. But what I really also want to reiterate is these phone calls at 11 p.m., at 3 a.m., and also folks that are calling us 5 times so in a row. They're in a scary place.
Yeah, for sure. And the scariest thing when you're in a bad situation is having no lifeline, nobody to talk to at all. That is possibly the worst situation. If I was given the option of being having an AI answer the phone and being able to direct me to help versus not having anybody answer the phone at all, it's a no-brainer.
Right. So everyone, if you're watching now, what I want you to know is when you call or when someone calls, AI will. If you say anything in a matter of I might harm myself or harm someone else, AI will both effectively and compassionately transfer the person to 988 where they can get immediate assistance. So in a way, Matt, this new AI platform we're embracing could be saving lives.
Yes, it definitely could. Um, you know, those times where there's nobody around are usually the most desperate times for people.
Right.
So,
So I love to like to think of we're in an ever changing environment with our federal government cuts and the deficit of the state budget. It's time for organizations to reinvent ourselves and really focus on being very stable in the future. And I see AI as one of those creative, innovative ways in which we can um, deploy our staff in a way where they're serving more people more effectively for our 5 core programs and allow AI to handle all the bookings. So tell us how that works, Matt. How would the bookings work with AI?
so essentially, when you come through over the phone, you will talk to the AI virtual receptionist, who
Sarah, correct?
Sarah is her name. Yep. And she is going to ask you a little bit about what program you're calling about. She'll be able to recognize that based on keywords and then send you to the appropriate area for booking in based on your own schedule. So she's going to send an SMS link to your phone. You basically click that link and you'll have access to the available slots um, for receiving the services.
Right. And so then our team, our folks here on the ground that are well trained will then work with the customer and offer them our other programs and services. And also our community, and that's not just Catholics, that's the entire Inland Empire, will be able to book directly into our website
Mhm.
as well, aside from AI.
Yes, definitely. So there's multiple avenues that you'll be able to book in for services. And with the changes that you've been implementing here, though it's going to be run very effectively and people will be able to manage their bookings in a way that makes more sense.
And this is a team. So we basically have our staff, a few of our staff, working together with you in
Mhm.
concert, continue to make iterations and progress. And what I love about the relationship is we're going to keep doing that.
Yeah, it's been great. Working with the team here has been fantastic. I got to say, everybody that has had a hand in the development of putting this system together, from the Catholic Charities side, it has been a pleasure working with you guys, all of you. And I think we're going to have a better outcome for the people that need it and are really using it. So it's been good, and I continue to look forward to working with you guys moving forward as well.
Matt, tell us about chatbot. You're working on this as well.
Yeah, chatbot, we're gonna be launching very shortly here. It will exist on the Catholic Charities website, and it will do a lot of the same things that calling will allow for, except obviously you'll be able to access it from your phone without having to make a phone call. Now, that can be good because there are some certain situations where people need to gain access to services or ask quick questions about particular services, but they can't make the audio call,
Right.
or they're not in a situation where they feel comfortable to or safe to do so.
Sure.
So being able to access that through the website is, a great thing.
So we're going to go from 62% answer rate
Mhm.
and also having voicemails to return to 100% answer rate,
Yep.
allowing people to book on available in our calendar
Mhm.
for the various programs and services. And I believe it's 1,800 calls answered per minute.
Yeah, it can definitely get up there. I mean, there will never be a situation where you're gonna have anybody who's calling and not getting through to somebody.
So I'm at an age. I'm not super young. I'm definitely not super old. Probably leaning on the older side. I tend to not want to learn stuff too much, but can you share with the folks that are watching now a little bit about how AI learns? I don't always get it.
Okay, so yeah, it's basically it has.
Wait. Dumb it down to my level.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to. Okay, so basically, when it has interactions, it can gauge based on like the feedback it gets
Okay.
as to whether it had a good outcome for you. So, I mean, I'm not encouraging people to tell it off or anything like that, but it will learn.
But we tried that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Tried.
So just a funny story, everyone. So I was working with Matt. He said, "Can you test the system?" And so I said, "Sure." But I gave the system a very hard time. And it just so happens I was at the mall. And Matt, you said I probably shouldn't do that at the mall.
Yeah, I didn't think that people would understand that maybe he wasn't talking to a real human.
Right.
So yeah, but it's good. It's important testing because we need to allow for any type of situation that can occur and different frustration levels because people have different needs and realistically we're all human, right? That's what
Right.
makes us human.
You know,
Emotions.
I'm a black belt Lean Six Sigma professional, and I have an executive MBA. And one thing that's really important to me and for everyone watching now, we Catholic Charities, with the support of our volunteers and our staff, we are executing the programs and services for our community on behalf of our donors.
Mhm.
So the donor should say, "Hey, Tim and Catholic Charities, spend every dollar wisely." Right? And so to me, what that means is we're executing our programs and services to the highest of our ability with efficiency. And if we can use AI to be more efficient for our staff, this is what gets me really excited about it. And we are most likely the first nonprofit in the Inland Empire to embrace this level of technology that I know of.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, that is the case. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the maximum amount of resources should be allocated to the services that you provide, and where possible, any human resources should be used to the highest degree, right? And
Exactly.
and I think AI in this case allows for that.
So, just to be very personal again with everybody watching, a lot of times organizations get, and I'm certainly not judging our partners or the nonprofit industry, but I'm just going to speak the truth about what happens sometimes. Organizations will get a contract from, let's say, federal contract, state contract, or they'll get a gift from a donor, be it a foundation or wherever the case may be. And what they end up starting to do is chase numbers, right? So when a customer comes in, it's less about the customer's needs and more about checking a box, more quantitative about I needed to do a number that day. And so this allows us more time to really see the folks in our community as a family of our customers, bring them in holistically and find out what they need and take the time to really elevate them
Mhm,
and improve not the short term gain, but also the long term sustainability of that individual
mhm.
and that family unit. So that's what I'm really excited about. I know AI is not there yet, but I'm imagining a day when other nonprofits embrace this technology, be it the call center, and I'm imagining a day when we can put in all our resources on the back end. So we could literally say, this is how many shelter beds are available. This is where people are doing food distributions. So that when I'm just gonna say this out loud, even though it's I think it'll happen someday, and maybe you can speak to that. When I'm living with my family in my car, I call an organization, and instead of it just being one organization, because organizations also tend to think that they're the end all be all of solving an issue when we know we need real strategy and real collaboration. So I'm just imagining a day where someone calls in and it says, "Hey, G, there's a shelter available to you and your family at this location. You can drive here. I've already let them know you're coming. Or here's a lift to bring you." I'm talking about that level of resources. And then beyond that, the AI may be able to do an analysis about what other resources we need. So if it could literally tell us you need X amount of beds for the zip code or whatever the case may be.
Yep, I think that those things will become a reality a lot quicker than we believe, right? The development for AI is breakneck speed right now. The On a weekly basis, there are new updates to be, keeping on top of, and I think realistically, what you're talking about is definitely within grasp. I think the things that need to happen in order to, bring all those elements together,
Mhm.
um, that's probably the bigger challenge than the technology at this point.
You guys, if you know me, I'm a talker, right? And I love talking about AI. I love talking about what you're doing, your company, and people get excited. And I had one business owner, this is for-profit business owner. He said to me, Tim, but if I do that, then what will the person that they answer the phone, what are they going to do?
Well, they're going to interact with the people that need the services. They're going to provide the actual service. Instead of being a receptionist, they're going to be the ones on the front line, actually being with the client, being with the people who need the service.
I'm motivated. The eighth waste in Lean Six Sigma is underutilization of people. I'm so motivated because aren't we more than we can do more than just answer the phone.
Yes. Phone calls, emails, all of the communication stuff, it takes time away from mission critical things. And I think realistically, communication is so important, but we now live in an era where we have the technology that can take the biggest part of that burden away, and we can more play an oversight on the communication rather than having to be actually doing it.
So Matt, let's okay, everyone, that's our AI sort of conversation. So Matt, just to stay in format with our podcast, what keeps you motivated? What gets you really passionate about what you're doing?
I love the idea of being able to work with technology to be able to facilitate better outcomes, whether it's in nonprofit space or whether it's in small, medium sized businesses. I've managed my own businesses before, like jewelry business and other things along the years, but I always felt like I was striving for more efficiency, and now we live in an era where the technology can actually play a part in that. So for me, it's about being able to help other people in business and in social services be able to deliver at a higher level. That's what I'm passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm grateful that I have the chance to do that.
And so you must have had some challenges along the way. What would your guidance or advice be to the entrepreneur who's struggling or who's facing big challenges? I'd love to hear your take on that. It hasn't been all roses.
No, it hasn't been. I would say the biggest thing is you have to believe that if you, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, it starts in the mind, right? You have to be able to see that you can do it
Mhm.
You have to believe that you're going to figure it out if you don't already have the answer. And you have to go forward with the intention that if I don't get it right now, it's not the end of the world. I will regroup and I will figure it out. But
I
there's no
mean,
option to
you
fail.
know, it sounds like you're just talking about, being an innovative problem solver.
Yeah.
And an optimist.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've talked a little bit about this is there are situations and challenges in life, in everybody's life, in which you could turn a blind eye or maybe do something different to not face the challenge. But how it's so important to actually, like you
Head
said,
on.
an idea in your head and go into problem solving mode and being innovative and probably reach out to others. Who was your person that inspired you or a mentor or someone like that in your life?
I've had many over the years, in different capacities. But I'd say my overall mentor of all time would have to be my mother, to be honest with you. My mother has always been my biggest cheerleader from the sideline. My mother used to be a deputy director general in Australia for communities,
Mhm.
which is human services, basically, right?
Mhm.
Um, and actually, uh, my first, I guess, foray into the working world after I got my degree, I worked for social housing programs. So, I have that background with that, and she's kind of guided me to think about people first, but never lose sight of the objective. Always be strategic, always be pushing forward and looking for a win-win. So,
One thing I have to share. So, in our relationship with you as an organization, you listen, like you've always been trying to design the system in a way that saves us money. Your
mhm,
ethics are outstanding. I have had the privilege of meeting your family, and so you've got this really incredible, amazing, supportive spouse who's also really intelligent, and then these wonderful kids. That must be a great driver for you as well.
definitely. Yeah, how could it not be? Like, they are my reason, my why, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, it's like I've had the guidance of, my mother over the years, who's, a high level professional and has guided me in my professional life and obviously growing up. And then as I became a man and a family man, obviously you find a new purpose, you find a new why, and then you have the ability to relate to people who are going through different challenges, right?
Mhm.
Because having a family presents different things to when you're by yourself.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Meaning, right? It gives you the purpose-driven
right.
life. So everyone watching now, we just told you that we're going to be able to, with the support of Hyperbolt AI, we are going to be able to book appointments in our calendar. So the next constraint will be that we have to expand as an organization, and we know that we're not going to necessarily be opening new sites. So the message is for anyone watching who's part of a parish in the Catholic Church, we are seeking volunteers to train you, to help bring you in and help potentially execute some of our programs and services. We're going to need support as we expand. We got 92 parishes under Bishop Rojas's leadership. I call him our peaceful warrior. Our bishop is amazing. 92 parishes. And so as we expand, we need volunteers who are willing to step up and become part of the outreach for Catholic Charities, even our programs and services, so we can utilize this next tool to do more good in the community. So if you're willing and you're watching now, or you know someone who's really passionate, please have them contact us at Catholic Charities. As a volunteer, a key leader, a volunteer, you can also join our committee, potentially join our board, make a gift to the organization to support the good work that we're doing. But we're calling upon all the warriors out there with Matthew 25, who want to really make a difference, to come learn from us and then become one of our volunteers here at Catholic Charities, San Bernardino Riverside. Matt, if a business owner or a nonprofit or any of those great folks want to learn more or get a hold of you to inquire about how you could set up AI for them, how would they do that?
Probably my website is the best way. So hyperbolt.biz is my website. If you go there, you can get in touch with me that way. That's probably the best. Yep.
Right, so it's hyperbolt.biz.
Yep.
So if you're watching now and you wanna contact Matt, learn more about the AI system, and potentially exploring if you can do that for your own business, or your nonprofit. I am so excited because I think our nonprofit entities deserve. Listen, they're understaffed. They're like the Marine Corps, right? They have
Mhm.
a small budget, they're understaffed, and they're overwhelmed. So we can utilize technology to make us more efficient and do more of the great work we're doing in our community. So contact Matt, learn more about that today. Everyone watching, the real takeaway is this. I want you to know that Catholic Charities San Bernardino Riverside, we're innovative, we're creative, and we're always going to continuously improve to serve the community more. We need your help. We need key volunteers that are ready and poised to also join us in serving that community. And thank you, Matt, for all you've done and all you continue to do to help us be more effective and efficient.
I look forward to supporting the mission moving forward. And, to your point, I just wanted to say, um, I would encourage people who are maybe, fresh out of college or who are maybe looking to get into college. Look at doing charitable work as a pathway. You'll be surprised how many skill sets that you can develop by working with people like Tim towards something that's great for the community, is great for your soul as well. Like you'll feel good about the work you're doing. And I would encourage it as a pathway to develop skills, and it will help you.
Okay, everybody. So thank you again for watching. We'd like you to like, share, subscribe, hit that subscribe button for us, get the word out. And if you want more information, please go to hyperbolt.biz and get a hold of Matt and learn more about AI and how it can assist you in your journey as far as your business or your nonprofit organization is concerned. And once again, thank you for joining us here at Community in Focus with Catholic Charities.